Okay guys, today we'll be starting with Windows 10 operating system. As we are working on Windows 10 operating system, we will also simultaneously see how you will have to work on Windows 7. We will give you a comparison then and there itself, so that at the end of the day you should be able to work on Windows 10 also. Simultaneously you should be able to work on Windows 7 also. As I have told you earlier, Windows 7 operating system is available in the lab. And Windows 10 operating system will be available in my system. You can also work on my system by logging in by using an IP address 192.168.1.99, so that if you want an hands-on on Windows 10 operating system, you could use that also. And Windows 7 will be available in the lab, both on the left and the right side. So in Windows 10 we'll be actually covering 4 chapters. It would be called as Windows Module 1, Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4. Just to give a small gist of what exactly will be the chapters, we will go to Module 1, which will say Windows 10 Fundamentals Module 1. In this, we are going to see why does a computer need an operating system, what are the important terms used in operating system, how to use a mouse, how to use a keyboard, how to use Windows 10 operating system, how to make use of the start button. Here is a start button. We will talk about how to make use of that. Then we will talk about the start menu, the start button, and also we will talk about how to change the shape of an application window, minimize, maximize, restore, okay, how to switch between one window to another window, active windows, how to shut down your system, how to restart your system, how to lock your computer when you're moving out without actually shutting it down. Okay, that we will see. How to search for files, programs and applications. All this will be seen in what is called as Module 1, and after that we would be going to Module 2. In Module 2, what we are going to see, understanding of Windows 10 file system. That means ultimately the information that is stored in a computer is either in the form of a file or a folder. Folders are used to systematically bifurcate and start storing information. So we use multiple folders. We may have a main folder as VIP school. Under that we may have for first standard to 10th standard, or we may have English medium, Kannada medium. Like that, as many bifurcations as possible we'll be seeing. And then we will understand what is a data file, how to create and save an application data, how to create and save a file, and how to create a folder, how to create and delete a data file, and how to create a desktop shortcut. We'll be seeing that. We'll also see how to rename and delete the data files. We will also understand how to use a removable file. That would be in the second option, which is called as Windows 2. Next we will continue again the file system, where we will try to see what is the use of File Explorer in order to browse through your storage devices. When you want to copy and paste, when you want to delete and paste, when you want to rename, for all these purposes we make use of File Explorer. We will give a very in detailed explanation about File Explorer. We'll also speak about understanding how to use default folders. When an operating system is loaded, there are some default folders created. We will speak about that. We'll also try and understand about navigation pane. We will see how to navigate through various storage devices and access different files from file system. How to understand, we will also teach you what is save and save as. Next we will go to Module 4. Here we will continue with the explanation of File Explorer again, managing files using File Explorer, how to use file management tools to organize, group, how to rename, delete and restore files, how to create useful shortcuts, how to use removable drives and store files. These are the 4 that we'll be checking. Along with that, okay, by the time you complete those 4 modules which is given here, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4, most of these portions will be covered. Like introduction to Windows 7 and Windows 10 would have got over. Creating files, folders, searching files and folders would have got over. Move, copy, paste, delete, rename, cut, copy, paste, restore, all this option you would know. and we will also speak about control panel. What is control panel, what is shortcut links, what is removable drives, and then next we will go to Notepad and MS Paint. These are the two Windows applications. Maybe we will also see clock, calculator, snipping tool. We may see other applications also, naming a few, etc. Okay, we will also look at DOS, at least 2 sessions of disk operating system. Yesterday when we spoke about the evolution of Windows operating system, I told you the first one was DOS. After that came Windows operating system. We will be looking at DOS operating system also. Okay, today we will start off with our first lesson. Please put an heading, Windows 10 for fundamentals. Yeah, module 1. You can put an heading, Windows 10 for fundamentals module 1. If at all you miss any of the classes in the next few days, you should know that module 1 or module 2 or module 3 would have been missed. A video would be shared, you can go through at home and then come. Now we will go to module 1, Windows 10 basics. He has given a separate heading, Windows 10 basics. Okay, in this we will be seeing the role of Windows 10 operating system, use of mouse and keyboard, identifying desktop components, how to open an application, how to manipulate Windows, how to search for an application, how to shut down the Windows. We will look into all this. Now one by one, if you start going for the subject, a small re-explanation of how and where Windows 10 operating system is going to sit. We have already seen the block diagram. When we saw the block diagram, if you guys have not forgotten, the lowest part of the block diagram, and then let me erase it. Okay, now this would be the inter-core circle. The next circle would be this, and the next circle would be this. Same thing, I'll have to put it upside down. That's all. What does that mean? On the core you have the microprocessor, the memory disk. That means this is my hardware. Okay, on this hardware is going to sit what is called as system software. Yesterday we spoke about system software. Which system software is sitting here? An operating system is sitting here. Which operating system is sitting here? Windows 10 operating system is sitting here. At home, I want you to write down this block diagram by making blocks like this. So for better understanding, you can put them on the lowest, and then I, and then I. This block, if you can put it here, this block, if you can put it here, you will understand it better. On the core is going to sit your hardware. Above the hardware is going to sit your system software. Example for system software is operating system. Example for an operating system is Windows 10 operating system. On this Windows 10 operating system, application softwares are going to sit. Examples of application software: MS Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, then it is a Turbo C and other applications. Okay, it could be PageMaker, CorelDRAW, Photoshop, InDesign, or my CMIS or internet browser. Okay, accessing applications like Facebook. All this comes in application software. This is the basic block diagram. Again, a small repetition. This inner part is called as hardware. Above this hardware is going to sit the next layer, which we call it as system software. Because the software is divided into two parts, we call it as system software and application software. The next layer is going to be called as application software. Okay, so this layer is going to be called as application software. So this entire layer above is called as application software.
In this also two types of things, so customized package and
No. In applications software, yes, definitely we have one is called as customized, one more is called as a general application software. But both of them will sit here only. What is customized package? When something is done exclusively for you. Even in the construction field, all the villas will be same, ma'am. ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ನೀವು ವಿಲ್ಲಾ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಹುದು. That is called as generalized package. You will say no, we give you customized villa. The outskirt is booked. Inside you can have as many floors as possible. You can change any interiors as possible that way. So whenever we use Access, using Access, people can develop an application software which can be used exclusively for management of your institute. Like I cannot use the same thing in the hospital. They will have to customize it for hospital. For me, my customers are student name. When I go to an hospital, for the hospital, the customers are patient name. For me, the service provider who is going to help me are called as faculties. For them, the people who are going to help in the hospital will be called as doctors or surgeons. So that way, both is going to sit here. In application software, both CMIS, what do we call it, as a generalized application software like Word, Excel, PowerPoint also will sit there. CMIS software is going to also sit here. Now let us understand the Windows operating system. Windows operating system as a layer of services that communicates with the hardware and the applications like an interpreter. Why does he use this statement as an interpreter is, when I am telling him something, I am telling him in a high level language that has to be converted into machine understandable language. For the operating system, I am saying I want to draw a line from left to right. He understood and he has drawn a line. But for him to understand that, make him understand and change the color from this place to this place where my computer is executing 10 lakh instructions per second, it has done my job. So everything what I am actually keying him, he is acting as an interpreter. He is interpreting, converting into the language what the computer understands, and then he is giving it to me. So when yesterday we saw one more block diagram, we saw the operating system. Operating system will be talking to the application software, and application software will be talking to the user. So if a user says in application something has to be done, application will talk to operating system will talk to hardware. Hardware will again talk to operating system will talk to application. In the application, I will start seeing the output. That's how. So I am using here an application called as Microsoft Edge, which is going to view the notes whatever we have created. It also allows me to draw when I am explaining people about some concepts. So every time I am inputting this line or a circle, or I am using an eraser to erase this, how does the computer understands? The computer understands because Windows operating system is acting as a layer of service, as an interpreter that communicates with the hardware and the application. Why hardware and the application? Because he is in between. He is communicating to the processor here, is communicating with to the hardware here. Both the ways it's happening. Okay, now we will try to understand this again. Okay, a Windows operating system is a layer of service that communicates with the hardware, the downward, and to the application upward. Why? He is just like a jam in between the two breads. One bread is the hardware, the other bread is the application. He acts as a mediator. So hardware and application, and he is going to work as an interpreter. It allows the same application to run a wide range of equipment made by many companies. It listens to the mouse, it also listens to the keyboard. Both the things he is understanding, and controls the monitor. How is he controlling the monitor? I minimize. He controls the monitor. I minimize. I go to desktop. I right click and I say I don't want to see any of these icons. View, and I say I don't want to see any of these icons. He listens to everything. He starts working as per what I want. That means he is listening to the mouse, he is listening to the keyboard, and he is also controlling the monitor, what should be displayed, what not should be displayed. It also manages the file system. When I copy files, when I rename files, when I delete files, he is also managing the file system. We will be looking at that in the next 1 or 2 classes. It displays the desktop graphical interface. We will understand this desktop graphical interface. Please put this heading. What is
We should keep the place.
what is desktop?
We should
No,
write
if
down.
you want to, yeah, you can keep a little space so that when you go home you can make little bit of notes. After half a page you can start off. What is a desktop? What is a desktop? Don't write down the answer. I will just try to say, and I'll try to look for the right words. When we say desktop, when I switch on the computer, the operating system gets loaded. After the operating system gets loaded, it brings you with a Windows logon screen. You enter the right username and password. After you enter the right username and password, it will load whatever the software needs to be loaded for your user, and then it stops at one window called as desktop window. So the first window that is visible to you as soon as you logged on giving username and password is called as desktop. Just like this is my desktop, everywhere we use the same. Okay, adu nim desktop ni vallu work maadi, we say. Even without the computer, this desk belongs to me. Whose desk is this? A counselor sits there. This is our desk. My manager's desk is there. Does he not sit in an individual room? No, he doesn't believe in individual room. He also sits like one of the employees in one of the desks. So that is desktop. This desk is the here, and that is my desktop. So let me see what Windows has to say, so that we can use the right kind of what is desktop in Windows. So please write down. This is not the right definition. It starts like this. When you boot up your system, desktop is displayed once the startup process is complete. It includes the desktop background icons. Okay. What is a desktop? When you start your system, by switching on, okay,
System by switching.
when you start the system by switching on, it boots the system. And takes you to a logon screen, comma, once you enter the username and password, it continues to load the operating system. It continues to load the operating system. And stops at one window. This window is called desktop window, and this window is called desktop window. The desktop consists of see, the desktop will consist of taskbar. The desktop consists of taskbar, and icons in the desktop window, and lot of icons in the desktop window. Plus a background wallpaper image, plus a background wallpaper image would appear in the desktop window. Full stop. You can give different kinds of answer. There is nothing wrong in any answer. As soon as I switch on the system, the operating system is loaded. Once the operating system is loaded, it comes and stops at one particular location called as Windows logon screen. Once you enter the username and password, depending on the username and password, a desktop window is being created for you. Everybody's desktop window will not be the same. Every user can have his own desktop, and you can configure the operating system in such a manner when you log in your username, you will not be able to see her login and her username or her files. We can always restrict like that. Her desktop will be different, your desktop will be different, our storage place will be different, your storage space will be different. So in the latest versions of Windows operating system, it supports what is called as multi-user. So it automatically tries and creates multiple users who can log in and start using it. Like practically speaking, you have seen I am connecting to the system there and I am trying to use. Whenever I wanted to show something, I am connecting to the lab and then I am showing them various things. How is that I am doing? I am logging into a different user. When I am working on a different user, there is one more person who is again working on the another user. That's the reason in all the terminals there is user 1 to user 15. Everybody can log on. When you log on to a user, the desktop is different, the desktop icons is different. It depends on an individual what all icons he has added up in order to use it. So we will start understanding that. Okay, now we will go back to our chapters. So when we look at it, the desktop window, it has a start button, it has a taskbar, it has background, and it has icons. What is this? Start button is this. This is called as a start button. Either I can click there, the start button starts. It is like giving you an idea. You have actually logged into the Windows. Now what? Now start working. How do I start? Click on start button. As soon as I click on start button, all the applications that is available in my system is visible and I can start using them. If I go and click the start button there, all the applications that is available in that system is displayed in an alphabetical order from A to Z and I can start using it. So this is the start button. What is taskbar? This entire thing is called as taskbar. Then it tells icons. What is icon? The small graphical representation of a file or a folder is called as icons. So what is that small graphical representation? All this. These are all small icons. A small graphical representation of a file or a folder. This is a graphical representation of a file. This is a graphical representation of an application shortcut. This is a graphical representation of a shortcut because there is an arrow mark like this. This is a folder. This is a folder. This is a folder. And this is a graphical representation of an application form shortcut. So like that, all are appearing in the form of graphics. These are called as icons. So you can write down what is icon. What is icons in Windows? Icon is a small graphical representation of a icon is a small graphical representation of a program or file. Icon is a small graphical representation of a program or a file or a folder or a shortcut. Program or a file or a folder or an application. Program means he is calling it as an application or a application. Okay, now here is my start button. When I click on start button, these are all the applications in alphabetical order: A, B, 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 C, C, D, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. This is a Zoom application which is used for Meet, Zoom Meet. Okay, now what you will have to do is, you will have to, when you get into the system in the lab, you will have to go click on the start button, and then I want you to write down all the applications one after the other. There are some applications which are inside a folder. Like, we will start from A. These are the most used applications. Some of the applications which I use very often will start displaying in this place. We will see that again. Now what will be your assignment for today is, you go, you click on start and you start writing whatever applications you see. Access, you write on access. 2, Acrobat Reader DC. 3, Adobe Acrobat DC. Next, Adobe Acrobat Distiller DC. Next, alarms and clocks. This is one application. You can set alarms. APowerSoft. It is actually an application software which is used for editing videos. We call it as APowerEdit. If I click, it opens. I'll just show you later. So this is available in a folder. Something which looks like this is a folder. You will have to click this down arrow key. It will open up, and then you will have to start entering. Now APowerEdit, PowerEdit on web, and then applies a software update. Audacity. Audacity is an audio editing software. Next comes C. Calculator. Calculator is used for calculator. Camera. Camera is used to capture images. Camera is also one application in Windows. When I click, it allows me to capture videos, capture camera. Okay, let it start the camera. Here is a camera. We can always catch anybody's image. We can take still image. Here is a snapshot. Here is a snapshot. Okay, here is a snapshot, and then one snapshot, and then here. Okay, now when I click here, I can start seeing these images. I don't want to go for video. The moment I save video, the camera will start capturing, so we will close that. Again, I go to start, alarm, then here is a folder. This is Canon printer utility. This is scanner utility. This is one more printer utility. This is Sony Live and voice dictation software given by Google Chrome. Next is Cisco WebEx. It's a WebEx video conferencing. Then we have a Cortana. Cortana is a voice based input services. When recording is not happening, I'll just show it to you. Then we have the DigiBulk when I want to send a bulk SMS. Firefox is an internet browser. Google Chrome is an internet browser. Google Drive is a space online. It's a cloud storage. Like that, when I keep on browsing down, I'll find there is lots of applications like this. So how will you do that? You're working there in Windows 7. If I'm logging on to your system there, either on the left side or the right side, applications may vary. On the left side server, you may find CorelDRAW is there, graphic designing softwares will be there. On the right side, you may not find. I'll just go to start. Here are my programs. I'll go for all programs here. Because it is Windows 7, it is quite different. You can write down in this order only: A, Access, Acrobat, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Next, again in the form of folders. First all the files and then folders. It is quite different in Windows 10. That's the reason when you work here, you will find Melixa Systems way of arrangement is good. It's not Melixa System, it's Windows 10. They've made it better than Windows 7. Okay, we have seen why it was better. Next, accessories. You click here, you will find lot of tools. You'll have to write all these tools. Next, ease of access, lot of tools. Next, system tools, lot of tools. Please write down. We may use, we may not use. Tables, Windows or PowerShell, games. You can click and see 1 or 2 games also. Maintenance, then Microsoft Office tools, N computing, startup, typing master. All the applications are available and you will have to write down. Maybe some 40-50 applications would be there. Please make a note of it, and then tomorrow we will continue with the rest of it. There is one small mouse and keyboard. A small typing tutor is there where we try to give you a small explanation of how to use a mouse. Let me see if I can complete that. I'll go to Google Chrome. Google Chrome is best in searching the information. Mouse tutor. I just opened this mouse tutor. Okay, it just gives you a small understanding of the mouse. What is a mouse? Mouse is a handheld device. It's an input device and lets you point to the object on the screen to do what is called as click them, to move them. Take a look at the diagram below and learn the different parts of a typical mouse. To scroll through this lesson, you may use keyboard's down arrow key, this arrow key, or I can use the scroll wheel. This is a scroll wheel. Here is a scroll wheel. I can use that, or I can use a down arrow key from your keyboard. When I look at a mouse, this is the mouse and the parts are something like this. This is a scroll wheel. Below the scroll wheel there is a button also. You can feel that. If you press tuck tuck, you get that there is a button there. This is a right button, this is a left button. When I click the right button, it is called as a right click. When I click the left button, it is called as left click. This is called as a body. The whole thing is called as a mouse. How do I hold the mouse? The mouse has to be held something like this. Place your thumb on the desk, on the tabletop, on the left side of the mouse. That means your thumb will occupy the left part of the mouse. Here is your thumb, it is occupying the left part of the mouse. Place the middle finger, place your index finger on the right button. Place your ring finger place your middle finger on the right button. Place your index finger on the left button, like this. And then your ring finger and little finger, these two fingers will be holding the mouse on the left hand side. And then my index finger on my left, index finger on the left button, middle finger on the right button, and my palm should be facing the ground, and gently cup myself, close it like this, and then you will have to hold. The base of your wrist should rest on the mouse pad. This base of your wrist should rest and it should be able to move smoothly. Now, using the mouse, for better or worse, most computing programs depend upon the mouse. The activities below will help you to practice the various tasks you can perform with the mouse. Let's start off with clicking. When you click, you are interacting with the computer, telling what to do. In order to click, press and release the button with your index finger. I will do this. I bring my cursor. Whenever you do a selection, though I can select at the edge also, don't do that. Come exactly to the center. That is the right way of using. When people are observing, wow, you are using the mouse in a right way. Okay, I want to hold. Then it looks odd. It has to be held somewhere in the center. That looks, it's right. You are having a grip. In the same manner, here also click. Not on the edges. One click is over. This is a rollover. How to move it around? Roll over your cursor over the icons below. See some different rollover effects. That means sometimes when you move your cursor, the cursor becomes an ant shape. That is, I am selecting something, or the background also changes, the color changes, and you will always get a information that by pressing this I can actually select something. So this is a rollover, exactly left to right, right to left, one rollover. Next will be a double click exercise. Double click is when you quickly click the mouse button twice. This can be used to open folders, files, or start programs on your desktop. Practice double clicking. Come to the center and double click. Perfect. Next, drag and drop. This will help you to drag and drop. That means I hold it like this, bring it, and then release it. I press the button, hold the button, drag it to the respective place, and then release it. Drag it to the respective place and then release it. Drag it to the respective place and then release it. Drag it to the respective place and then release it. Drag it to the respective place and then release it. That means it's done. So this is drag and drop, we call it as. Okay, drag it, bring it to the position, release the button. While you are dragging it, hold down the key. You will have to keep holding the key and then dragging it. Here is one for drag and drop, same like the earlier one. Trash should go here. I am selecting, bringing it down, releasing it here. Trash should go here. Music should go here. Picture should go here. Document should go here. Picture should go here. Back to tutorial. My exercise is over.